Good morning. Today's a special day. We got a buddy in town from Colorado. He's a professional snowmobile rider and kind of an extreme athlete, but he's also a bow hunter. And so we are going to pick him up today. His name's Chris Burandt. We are going to build him a bow. We're going to work out pod, bring you along. We're picking him up at the hotel right now.
Hey, buddy.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Guys, this is Chris.
What's up, boys?
Google.
Hey, girls.
We need arrows. What else do we need?
Broadheads.
Broadheads.
I need a bow case because I like brought nothing.
Yeah, perfect.
And then some talent. So we'll go.
Let's go get that talent.
Yeah.
Do it.
Like Fox has been a longtime partner of mine. I've been with them over 20 years. No matter if it's your stuff, Cam's stuff, like we can relate to each other's story because I was just like laughing listening to you. Like I will quit my job to go elk hunting.
Yep.
Right. And I think, you know, very few people can get in that mindset and do that. And what was really awesome, so after X Games, so I win X Games, I'm a corporate dude at Arctic Cat, right? I'm a district sales manager making good money, like good money, but you know, I wanted to be a professional snowmobiler, which, whatever the hell that meant at the time. And so I got a call from a video company that I had been working with forever. And back in the day, right? No social media. It's like filming for the videos.
The DVD.
The DVD. And before that, I was even on a VHS, you know?
Heck yeah.
And so, yeah, trying to get the DVD, trying to get the cover and all of that. And so I literally get a call from that company's name was Slednex, right? And
oh yeah, I know Slednex.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And so I had been a rider for them for a long time, and so I get a call, and they're like, "Hey, just got a call from a Hollywood producer. They want two of our guys to head over to Sweden to do stunt work on a Vin Diesel movie, but you got to be gone for like a month." And I'm like, "Hold on, dude." I mean, literally, it was like. Called my boss at Arctic Cat and I said, "Man, you guys have been awesome, but I'm out." So freaking pretty. The first time we kind of reached out over social, you had posted something like saying, "Do you lose or gain strength at the end of a hunting season?"
Yeah.
And I commented because I had just got done chasing bulls for a month, and I'm like, I will 100% say I have lost all the muscle.
Yep.
Just like trying to find a herd bull, you go to dark timber, north facing, the gnarliest stuff ever, and that's like heaven.
That's where you ride.
That's where I ride, man. I'm like, I don't know how many times I've been like upside down, kind of laughing at myself, and I look over and there's an elk grub right there. I'm like, yep, that totally makes sense that I'm getting defeated again in like the
year round.
Yeah, year round.
Chris, Josh.
How you doing, man?
Chris.
Buddy, how are
Nice
you?
to meet you, man.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Congrats, man. This is insane. Like,
We try.
yeah.
A little improvement every year. That's been doing that for about 15 years.
Let me see these, man.
So this has been old trusty, like forever. I had a wrist injury, and so one year I ended up trying this.
Okay, so the axis is what I use in that scenario. It's by sand. And the reason I use it is because it's got a legit strap on it. It's not just something hokey. You can infinitely adjust where that thumb is. It's actually the same brand as that. It's just a newer version.
Yep.
It pulls directly from the back, so if you do go to pull it and let go with your hand, it actually pulls just like that would pull. Okay. It doesn't have weird inconsistency. And it's open hook, it's quick to get on and off. A lot of guys hunting are using that now. So I would try that, see how it feels, see if it gives you kind of a combination of these two things that feels a little more like home.
Yep.
So it's not as hard of a transition, but you typically will shoot a thumb better, and you will shoot a thumb better because it's isolating your finger movement. Your thumb moves separately than your fingers. Your fingers tend to move together, your thumb moves separate. So if you go to punch it, you're less likely to react as bad. So this is a 4318. I did a video on this like a month ago saying it's the nicest case for under $300.
Okay.
They put a Matthew sticker on the side, now it's more than $300, but it is the nicest case for under $300. However, if you travel a lot, it doesn't have wheels and a handle to roll it. But when you go wheels and a handle to roll it, the case is bigger and it's heavier. So if you're gonna carry it mostly, that's a great way to go. You can't break that, you can't damage it. It's mil-spec stuff. gaskets inside of it. I haven't done this yet, but they say they're waterproof. I'm going to dive into my pool with one.
Heck yeah.
And see if I can pull it out with water in it or not. Everything else is coated with dust. It's pre-molded for arrows, your bow, little tool trays. If you use a detachable quiver, you can stick it up there. And it's still light compared to the other ones. The other ones get a little heavier, but you will never wear it out. You will never break it. It's only 2 molded pieces. There's not a bunch of rivets and latches that are attaching things together.
Yep.
So there's nothing to break.
We need to build him the ultimate elk arrow. That should be pretty easy.
Yeah.
And he needs to pick out a sight.
Okay.
And then we need to go over, grab some mods and some top hats, and build it at my house. I just don't want us to have to come back.
Yeah, sure.
It's so
No, I
far
get it.
away.
It's so far away. Idea what your draw length should be. Put your arms forward just a tiny bit. Perfect stop. Yeah, you're about 29 to 29 and a half right in there. So I think we should probably grab both. Just be safe. If one feels a little long or looks a little long, we can switch it back.
Okay.
It's a 33 or 29 and a half?
It's a 33.
33, okay. And what poundage do you want it at? What let off do you want it at?
I wanted to do 75. It's pretty.
Nobody beats them on packaging.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, their stuff comes in real pretty. Sharp objects, use caution. So it has multiple indicator needles, so you can set the indicator needles at each pin setting. So when it's movable, it's not just the bottom one, it's all of them, because they'll show on your sight rail what they are. And it's hard to argue. I'm trying to remember if it goes top or bottom. Dan, do you remember if these go from the top or the bottom, or does it matter? Bottom, thank you.
It'll click. Yep.
The movement of it's...
I think both these in your hand are like the top ends. Like these are, and then I'm running Excel right now, which is good too.
Grab that.
This is the most durable, bulletproof, but you do have magnets.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one's got the best ergonomics. Like, try dialing that one.
Yeah.
So it just fits your hand, and you can kind of just slap that down, lock it in. This has got a great, it just doesn't move.
So that's interesting, like having the lock on there too.
It's just ergonomically.
It's another step, right?
That's like what Dan runs.
Yeah, that's got another step, and that's what I'm running. But I've ran all three.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a ABT guy, man.
Dude, this is tough.
This is the hardest decision, and then arrows would be
simple.
another hard decision.
So this you can comfortably leave unlocked or locked. You can move it when it's locked. That has a lever lock on it, so you'll have to manually open and close.
And it sucks.
That part sucks.
But whatever.
Outside of that, it's actually a really clean, easy to use site. Adjusting the levels and everything are a pain in the ass, but that's not something you're going to have to do. It's something we're going to do, so it's not going to matter. This is absolutely easier to move. Has removable sight tapes and adjustable sight tapes. This has removable sight tapes, but you can't adjust them. So like you get to where you're going, you set everything up, and go, I'm 3 yards off.
Yep.
It takes like 2 seconds to adjust this. That you got to sit there and move your indicator needles and hope you don't run out of room on your indicator needles to try to adjust it. So most of these sights aren't really designed, I mean, they are designed to work without a light, but they are really designed to work in conjunction with a light, especially the Ultra. The wrap of fiber is minimal in the visual of lighting. Same thing with the Canyon Pounder. It doesn't have a ton of fiber. It is relatively bright, and if you look at the two side by side, right now the Canyon Pounder is brighter because they are taking that into account of you not using a light for it, because this was designed in Montana. But black gold will always win brightness, hands down, because they are.
You can see it right in the package.
Yeah, they're designed to be used without a light.
Okay.
You can adapt the light to it, but this is functionally designed to be used without a light, and it's like one of their main focuses when they're designing a product. They want this to be bright without a light. Each one has its advantages and disadvantages, but that one will win brightness every time if that's important to you, to be able to have it really bright in low light without a battery. Okay. If you're going to use a battery, this battery system is the best one I've seen. You can turn it up and down, it's all integrated, just touch of a button. You'll burn up a battery if you leave it on, and I want to say these do have a timer in them like the Target sights do. It'll turn itself off if you forget to turn it off, which is nice, but they're a little watch battery, and as long as you got a couple extra with you, they're super easy to change. But if you're not so really worried about that, this has the best lighting system because it lights up the bubble and the pins, and it's easily adjustable for how bright it is to a touch of a button. A lot of them have a light rheostat on it. You're going click, 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 click. This is just tap, 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 tap. It's super simple. But there's a reason it's $600. It's got the best lighting system in it.
So how many pins do you have on your current bow?
It's a 7-pin.
Like that's crowded, and
It's crowded. Yep.
Josh has got this little mantra he says that I think will help make your decision.
Well, we're trying to determine how many pins he needs in his sight, and my question to you is, how far would you shoot without your rangefinder?
Now, how far would I shoot, or how far have I shot?
Would you? No, like if you're in a,
Sorry, I didn't say
you're
that.
in a hunting situation. You're in a hunting situation. You can't grab your rangefinder.
Yeah.
How far you shoot?
Man.
How far are you willing to take an unknown distant shot at? Knowing that if you're off by more than 2 yards, you're probably not making a great shot.
The ethical answer is 40, probably, right?
Right.
That's the ethical answer.
So why do you need more than 3 pins in a housing then?
Yeah.
Because if you time to grab your
these
rangefinder,
guys who like know what they're talking about.
if you have time to grab your rangefinder, you have time to move your sight.
Sure.
So what do you need more than 3 pins for?
Yep.
Unless some people are willing to shoot out to 50 without a rangefinder, and then they need 4.
It's how you miss or wound, honestly. And you're hunting timber bulls at timber line. If you step out into the timber line, then you should have time to range and dial. And if you're in timber and it happens fast, you got 20, 30, 40, or 30, 40, 50, and your draw length will allow you to set that up. And we will not leave here with a 500 plus grain arrow today. That ain't gonna happen. Not on Josh's watch. So you'll be fine.
So one of the things I was terrified of, like in all your guys' stuff, you're so what grain arrow do you shoot? I'm like, oh god, they're gonna ask me that, and I had zero idea, which is the exact reason why I'm here again, right? Like I want to know my equipment, I want to know why. So that's what I'm pretty excited about.
So the X10 Parallel Pro that Dan shoots is very popular. If you want to go or willing to go with something with aluminum, you're going to have a hard time arguing that's not the most accurate thing you can get. It's in the right weight GPI range. So to me, for the average guy, 8.5 to 9.5 GPI is where I would stick your overall arrow grains per inch. And then at least 150 grains in the front, trying to keep around a 15% forward to center percentage. And that would be dictated by whether you're shooting a lighted knock or not, and how heavy of veins you put in the back by how much weight you need in the front. X10 Parallel Pros are really good, but...
So I was worried about this debate as well, because I probably know, so there's two ways to look at it, right? From like the accuracy and all of that stuff. Probably a non-lighted knock is where you want to be. I will say I have had it be an asset to me hunting, which was important. That was low light, trying to see if you even hit the animal. Was pretty key. So if I had my preference not knowing what I'm doing, I would say I'd like a lighted knock, but I'd love to hear your guys' take.
My one take would be, if you're going lighted knock, that's cool. Josh will tell you which one to get is the best, and I'm going to tell you I don't think you should shoot a 4mm arrow if you're going to use lighted knock. And you should bump to a 5.
He's not wrong.
Okay.
And if you bump into a 5, then you're not using the X10 Parallel because they're forced. Then at that point, personally, in the 5mm, I'd probably use a RIP TKO. You fire your bow, the animal hears your bow go off and reacts to it. The more you can shorten that time, the more likely you are to hit where you are aiming. Wounded animals typically come from not hitting where you're aiming.
Yeah. Or you range it wrong and it's actually 3 yards further. Well, guess what's going to forgive you?
Velocity.
So
flatter, more likely.
Y'all need to argue on the internet in the comments. I won't even read them. But I think you're right. So 5mm.
5mm, I'd do a 50 grain titanium, whether you want to use collar or not, it's up to you.
Let's look at the front end componentry from Podium and see what you have.
I'll grab some. Look at this. Stay here for mine.
All right. So when we had when we were starting the conversation with lighted knocks, all I could see was Josh's smirk on his face. I'm like, is he thinking I'm an idiot? Like, because, like I said, I've had it be an asset for me.
It's 100% an asset. I use lighted knocks. The biggest problem with lighted knocks is they're not the same knock fit as a regular knock. So it's a commitment. Like, all my arrows have to have lighted knocks because they're not going to shoot the same.
Yep.
And depending on which lighted knock you pick, you may have to reserve the center serving to get it to fit correctly. Almost guaranteed. I like halos. Negative to halos is you almost always have to reserve your center serving because the stock center serving is too fat.
Okay.
It'll stick to it and won't turn, and that's where you run into flight issues. So if what you're attaching it to is appropriate, it's accurate. I've not had an accuracy difference, and I've shot those things. My ritual for training for hunting, when it's time, I'll usually shoot for about a month, and I will shoot out to 200 yards. And I can accurately shoot those knocks. So it's not an accuracy thing, it's a knock fit issue.
Okay.
And so it's a commitment. So if I'm going to shoot lighted knocks, great. It's an all or nothing deal. Let's do it. And I'll probably end up reserving your string before we even get started. So my recommendation for inserts on these arrows is the 50 grain titanium one-piece podiums. These are the same diameter as the arrow, so if you just run it without the collar option, which personally I think is more than durable. I'm not huge on collars because I rarely have seen an instance where I've shot an animal in something hard where the arrow actually broke over the insert. You shoot into a concrete wall or something like that, yeah, it'll absolutely happen. But I haven't ever actually seen it on bone, so I think this is kind of unnecessary, but it's a warm and fuzzy because you're not going to ever have that happen with this on it and you can take it off. But these are 50 grains, which weigh the exact same as this, but it's all solid one-piece titanium and it's threaded in the end. If you ever want to play with weight, you can.
I think I have the word titanium tattooed on my body somewhere because I really love titanium on my film.
Everyone's a big fan.
You had me at titanium.
Okay, well, we'll get you 2 dozen of those collars, or whether or not you want to use them.
Nah.
But I do need to know for field points. And do you want to shoot a 100 grain tip or a 125?
So 100 grain point.
Okay, just let me get you some pellets.
And
What
broadheads.
are we shooting for broadheads? Maybe we should ask the internet. What should I use for a broadhead?
This is the hardest. Like, I didn't realize how many hard decisions we're gonna have to make today.
But my bottom limb.
You better not ask Josh what he thinks, because he'll get you on a mechanical.
I'm a big fan of mechanicals when I've tested them.
Yeah.
And so this is a question mark of whether or not you want to go with a recommendation that I haven't tested, but I can't find anybody that shot a beast that doesn't think it's a great broadhead.
I think you could put a couple beasts in the back end for maybe mule deer and follow-up shots, but I'd love to see you shoot an elk with a fixed.
What's your know? For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So there's a lot of options out there. I'm a mechanical broadhead fan for a couple of reasons. One, it's typically going to give you a better hole. Two, it usually has better flight characteristics because I like to shoot farther away, and that matters a lot to me. I don't want it to shoot like garbage past like 60 yards, and a lot of heads do, quite frankly. It's hard to find ones that fly really good, but when you find ones that fly really good, they usually have very small surface areas, right? And that's usually where it comes from. So the beasts, those, that's the sharpest blade in a package I've ever seen. Like, they provide things to protect your fingers so you can close them, because you will cut your hand on them. They're bad, and they come with a practice head tip, so you don't have to actually physically shoot this into a target. But the sharpness over time with this is pretty damn impressive. Like, Bodie shot like 5 animals with the same broadhead without resharpening it. Like, they're really, really sharp, so that part's pretty cool. And he claims it's the most accurate thing he's ever shot, and that's a world champion archer.
Yeah.
He knows what accuracy is and not, and you will find it. Like, this time of year, myself and my cousin, we do a lot of long distance playing.
Yeah.
And we'll end up trying like 7 different heads and end up on one because one shoots better than the rest of them at distance, and it's noticeable. So if accuracy is relevantly important to you, that is a good pick. If you want a fixed blade broadhead, the SS3s actually have really good flight characteristics. It's one-piece machined. Tooth of the Arrow came out with a new 3-blade, one-piece steel style. But honestly, our best-selling head over time for a fixed blade broadhead is a Micro Hades Pro. Right there. They're sharp, and the biggest thing that you run into with these, it is replaceable blades, so if you dull it, you can replace it. The tip is sharp. They actually go through and sharpen every tip, and the biggest issue with penetration isn't mechanical versus fixed blade, etc. It's how much resistance do you have getting through the hide, because elk have really thick hide.
Yep.
That's usually where you run into a problem. Now, if you have a deployment system on a head and you hit a really steep angle, it may cause it to move a little bit when it tries to penetrate, and that's where you're going to lose that. It's odd that it would do it back here, though, because there's nothing hard.
I know.
Normally that happens on hitting a hard surface just right, and it happens to deflect. No different than like a lead style cut head like that. If you hit a hard surface just right, it'll change its direction easier than that will. It's an argument that's made a lot.
Sure.
I've seen it a lot over time because I had a father that was a traditionalist and shoot lots of things that look like this, and I'd watch him shoot an animal and watch the arrow do that when it hit.
Yeah.
So that's a reality. That's a reality of it, and I rarely ever saw that in a 3-blade. I don't know why. I just dynamically it makes sense to me in my head.
Yeah.
So I tend to, if it's fixed blade, I tend to really gravitate towards 3s, not 2s. But your call.
You know, and this is maybe this probably wasn't the right thing to do, but I've had in my quiver, I've had a fixed blade and an expandable, and it depended on the situation, you know. And
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So, gosh, I thought picking the sight was going to be
the broadhead's always the touchiest thing.
Yeah.
Always.
And this year I drew a really cool archery buck tag, so like that's my main focus this year. I really hope to be able to get some elk hunting in, but my focus is a deer.
Deer's hides thin. You're going to go through them with anything you shoot.
Yeah.
That's a Magnum SS 100, yeah, stainless.
Okay, this is gonna be
That's a good head too.
These are my 2 picks for primary.
And if it's
And
elk,
then this-
I would use that, not that. That's the 2-inch. That's
Yeah,
the
and then
2.3.
this would be my follow-up arrow, and then all you gotta do is never shoot those. Practice with that. Put those 2 in the back of your quiver, and then whichever one you decide on. I've shot lots of stuff with both, and they're chisel tip, they're sharp, they'll leave you a big hole. This is a 4-blade. Do you have a Micro Hades 4-blade?
Yeah, I should have a right there.
I would probably go 4-blade because you'll get a square hole. So it'd be that versus that for primary, that for your follow-up, and or if this.
Are we having this discussion? Can I interject?
You can. Yeah, we can argue on camera.
One more blade is less penetration. It's more cutting surface,
Sure.
requiring more force. Period.
But I just
In an
know
animal.
I've shot everything with both
I
through
understand.
scaps and whatnot. So
Yeah, no, that's not the issue. It's how much penetration are you going to get, and you had a discussion about being concerned about penetration, right? So this will outpenetrate that by 20% in a real animal, in a real environment, because
And I think that's
it takes
the
more
interesting-
force to cut that extra 4th blade.
That's the interesting conversation, right? That circumstance is always the one after your shot, you just pray the arrow is not sticking out. And
Right.
we want 2 holes. We really do.
you do, but I don't, gosh dang.
Let us know what you decide and roll the Jeopardy.
Roll Jeopardy.
So let me ask you this,
Yes.
right? If you had this on an arrow and you had pick whatever one of these
Sure.
on an arrow,
Sure.
how's that going to affect the arrow flight? So do you? I mean, like, right? You would have to tune your bow to each individual broadhead.
if the broadhead that you bought had really good flight characteristics, like that one, like this is the best flying fixed blade I've ever tested. So if we're trying to do this back and forth thing, I haven't tested this for flight personally.
It won't fly as good as the 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, this would be my combination,
Okay.
but I'd probably just shoot the elk with that, no matter what, personally. But that's just me. I've shot a ton of elk with this, which this is the mechanical version of this, basically. It doesn't have a big cutting diameter. I've never had a penetration issue, and it still puts wicked holes in things. But this thing is stupid sharp. I'd have a hard time not using it. This is brand new. These like just came out.
Okay.
So I would probably still lean towards that, even though traditionally this is what I have used in the past. I've killed several large-sized animals with that and gone clean through hard stuff, everything without an issue. But I did hit one in an offside shoulder once, and it folded it over, and it didn't go through.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is don't shoot him in the shoulder.
I could see this doing incredible damage.
It is. This is the sharpest, and it doesn't open in your quiver. It's good. I killed a bunch of stuff in Texas this year with it. That's why it's in my quiver. But it's not going to be my primary. And mechanical never will, because I've lost 2 elk to mechanicals, and I'm just not going to. I vowed on the mountain. So, but I have also shot elk with follow-up shot mechanicals, and I'm really glad I had them in my quiver to make that clutch follow-up shot. But this will fly the best by far, and we'll practice with a broadhead and get you broadhead tuned today. So,
And what do you? Okay, so say we go this route, right? What do you practice with, a field tip, or do you practice with?
I will definitely. I use
practice with
broadheads.
those. Yeah.
I practice with broadheads. I chew targets up. I don't care. And these are so damn. You only get 2 for $60, so it's like, well, I'm gonna keep those virgin, and then I'll practice with this.
Yeah.
They fly the same. And if you ever have to use it, you get to see how sharp it is. And you will have to use these gloves to close this display one. It's that sharp.
Well, I think what we'll do, I'd like to get a couple of these
Yep.
to have.
Yep.
And then I think we'll go with a fixed blade.
All right. Well, we'll get you a few
Good
of those.
choice, my boy.
Ah, see? So I'm gonna do both.
Cool.
Yeah.
How many each do you want?
So
These are a 2-pack, just so you know.
Okay.
These are a 3-pack.
why don't we get 6 of these?
Okay.
So 6 total, and then I don't know, how many do I need? I need to practice with them.
Yeah, so, and probably like 3 you're probably going to practice with is what most people would do.
Yep.
So a pack of these are not going to be hunted with
Yep.
and get used.
So let's
So
just
you probably
say-
need at least
so-
2 more packs, I would think.
Yeah,
but it's
and
up to you.
I'd rather go a little bit more too. So
Sure.
let's call just 3 packs for practice, and then I'd have, my quiver. So 5 or 6 packs.
put your doodads over here. Get this guy's shit out of your way. Here she is.
Dude, I am so pumped. It's been a long time since I've had a new bow. This is good like that. This, what? Oh wow, sorry, I got distracted here.
As you should.
I think the biggest thing.
What did you order?
A 33 lift, dude.
And Sika?
Yep.
Alpine.
Yeah.
Bob Alpine?
I'm a Sika guy, man. I love their stuff. And
That's good.
yeah, looks good. I had to spend 2 hours on the site just picking stupid string colors. I'm like, see, I'm not cut out for this.
If you push on your knock, it shouldn't turn your string, and you can see it turn your string a little bit when you push on it, so that basically means it's a little tight. This is better than what they've had in the past, but it's still a little tight, so I want to go back and cut this off and make it a little smaller. So I'm going to throw it in the press, take the string off, zip back over to the shop, reserve it, and then we can get rolling.
Appreciate that.
Did you, when you won the game, X Games, was it like doing jumps?
Freestyle.
Were you the guy that landed on the flat landing and like broke everything? That
No,
one year?
thankfully not.
Who was
String doesn't
that?
move anymore.
So there's been a couple dudes who have
Okay.
been like that.
That's what you want.
I've seen that. I remember watching as a whatever. I
think who you're talking. 3 hours.
I have so much I want to know.
So I still have a couple others that I need to get some good reps downrange and to decide which one's going to be, but if I had to pick one today, it'd be this bow.
It's funny how many similarities there are. Although I will say one thing I was nervous about was going with a 33 just from a size perspective. Like it's a pretty big bow compared to what I've been carrying around.
At your draw length, that's what I'd recommend you shoot.
Okay.
Honestly.
How long have you been with Matthews?
Since 2019.
Sweet.
I was with Hoyt from 06 to 19.
Yeah, that was a long pull.
Long pole.
Yeah.
Matthews is my favorite. So
From a bow standpoint or a company standpoint?
both.
Both. That's
Yep.
good.
They're a great company.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
With good combo, with amazing people.
Yep.
I just wanted to shoot a video with it real quick.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was.
it fun?
Oh, it was so fun.
Who was on your team?
Corey, the snow, that looked miserable.
I was like, I'm so glad I want nothing to do with it. And it was during, like, I think it's spring. It's like
It
bear
was-
hunting season.
It was spring, yeah. Which, yeah,
We're glad you did. It worked out.
it did.
But
I just knew from a career standpoint and longevity standpoint, there's no way you're gonna go do freestyle. I gotta show you, I have so many cool videos.
cannot wait.
And
And the position looks all right there. All right, let's start with that. Pressure of the handle, hold your arm up. Right. Should go through this part.
Okay.
So we're trying to eliminate the wrist from the equation, okay? Because the wrist moves like this.
Yeah.
If you're holding your bow like this, your bow torques like this,
Yeah,
right? Left to
yeah.
right rotation. So we rotate our hand like that. Let the pressure go down here into the shallowest point of your grip right here. And if you do this just right, your front arm gets right directly behind it so it doesn't roll like this, right? So that's how our hand grip would be. The bow's not gonna jump out of your hand. It has no forward momentum, so you don't need to grip it at
Yep.
all. Just keep it nice and up and
Yep.
relaxed. Want to try to keep our shoulder down. So relax your weight on the arm. All right, so now your shoulder goes back and forth like this. So if you engage back here, you kind of pull your shoulder down and back. If your shoulder's up like this, when I push on you, your shoulder's trying to hold it back. Now roll it back like here. Now push on your back. It's way harder.
Yep.
Or you're way stronger that way.
Yep.
Okay, so down back, pressure like that, and don't roll your elbow in, elbow out. So I like to set the cord by pulling it tight all the way through the cable and drawing it back a few times, and it'll automatically set the amount of pressure that it takes to fully engage this launcher. Once you do that, you take a silver Sharpie for everything, mark the cable up against the down traveling cable, pull it out so it's not anywhere near anything, cut it off at the end of your little silver mark, fray it out a little bit, doesn't need to be a ton, just enough, and melt it into a ball. Let it cool for a minute, and then pull it back to the ball, and your tension set. You always want to be able to touch it, and if it doesn't feel hot, you can pull it and it won't collapse. It should be real close.
We built him one bullet. I got a lot to build, but
There you go.
440.
How do you know where to twist the knock to? Does that?
So I was turning it to where it lines up with that mark, because that's the spine deflection that you probably guided it off of. The beauty of shooting all the same color is if you get like a weird reaction out of your arrow when you try to tune it, like let's say you shoot all of them through paper. One of them looks weird, the rest of them look fine. Take that same arrow, rotate it 120 degrees to the next fletch sticking out, and shoot it again. 9 times out of 10 it'll clean itself up, because every arrow has 2 stiff spots and 2 weak spots in it, actually. This is marking the stiffest spot in the arrow, which most spine aligned arrows, which there's several brands that do that, are indicating the stiff spot. Ironically, it's actually the weak spot that makes the arrow flex. So they should be marking the weak spot, not the stiff spot. Tell me how wrong I am, YouTube. And because when you fire it, it's going to bend the weak direction. Well, the idea of that is that you're trying to put the way it bends straight up in the air, so they all bend the same way when you fire it. But when you get a different tear, it's because it misidentified where that spot was. And by turning it 120 degrees, you're running another possibility of it being flexing the right way out of the bow. All right, that's about the middle somewhere in there. Should be fine whenever you're comfortable. Perfect. Oh, what do you know?
Damn.
I might have done that once or twice.
Damn. I was expecting
A gasher?
something. All right, guys, so we got this podium, half out, 5 mil, no collar. I'm gonna hot melt them in. He picked RIP TKOs. I just built one so we could paper tune. It's a cool lighted knock. I like the lighted knocks for 5 mil. Give you guys a little better audio, but these suckers seem to steer fixed broadheads pretty well, so we're gonna give him a helical to the left. We didn't clock, we're just assuming his arrow's probably orient left out the bow. It doesn't really matter, we're not professional archers, but if you are, you might wanna pay attention to that. So I'm gonna get these built while they build that bow. Look at these, this might be the one that goes through a big bowl.
It could be. That's actually kind of cool to think.
Yeah, could be the one.
They stayed with us. We have an employee house that we.
Yeah, yep. You need some separation.
But in the old days, dude, everyone lived in my house, man. I mean, guides.
Yep.
Like, our website. I used to travel a ton and not be home and fully where I'm at in my business.
Yeah, you wanna be home.
Yeah, it was, and we'll talk about this in the podcast, but evening hunt and then hunt in the morning and then I would come back. I got almost 26 days in.
That's a good amount.
Yeah.
Are you on any acreage or are you in town?
I got 40 acres.
Okay. Have you convinced the mule deer to hang out on your property yet?
They do in November.
Perfect.
Yeah. Nothing big though.
Really?
No. There are some big actual unit that I do is so it's on the he's a we're elk guys and I'm like hunting a buck to hunt a buck, but he's a buck guy.
Good timing. Now, in order to set a third axis, I'm going to pull this back
He's doing third axis.
out like that. So you're simulating a downhill angle. You take your Gen 2 level and you find a nice little flat spot on the bow, which can be tricky these days because there's just not flat spots anymore, it seems like, that are even. But if you do it right, get it clamped right, all you got to do is rotate the bow to where that bubble's level. And then watch your bubble here, and you're probably going to have to come over here to see it and get high. But if you look at that, you see that bubble's all the way over in the side there? Buried. That's going to make you manipulate your angle trying to get that to look right. So we have to make that one that's buried over there, that was buried over there. And that's better. But it's still a little bit that way, so we need to move these right here to adjust that. And it can be finicky.
You guys had a killer event.
Yeah, I did good. Okay, so the trick to this, to make it a little easier is tighten one back up barely so it doesn't just flop back and forth. And then you should be able to drive the screw if you got the right wrench. Rotate till that C's good. Right there.
The last 5 years, and I like that format quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like we haven't had that working on bows, people staying
Perfect.
all together.
It's just a little bit. It's minimal.
Okay.
It's very minimal.
Okay.
So if you took, I had put it on, took it off. So if you took this and cut it off right here, it didn't have the connecting piece. So you can bring this quiver in so very tight that it'll do this somewhere.
Yeah.
Pull it up. That's kind of the point. This does move it over.
Copy that.
Okay, you're probably going to be a little low, so aim at the top of the diamond, the yellow diamond. Okay, whenever you're on it, the top of it. Okay, cool. So if you look at where that is, that's a big gap, so it's not very realistic. So we're probably actually really close to that being 30.
Yep.
So I'll run down and grab your arrow and we'll back up another 10.
Okay.
295, good call, homie.
Yay.
You wanna hold that for me for a second?
Yes.
Thanks. Yeah, okay. Okay, move her up, do it again. Okay.
So maybe recap the bow build, what he picked out, what he got.
Sure. We went with a lift 33, which you already got. They graciously sent that to you with the quiver and the rest. All Matthews labeled stuff and the bridge lock. We did take the little baby 8-incher one that they provided and swap this out for a 12 because he's a man and he needs a man's length. Went with the UltraView bridge lock sight, which is easily the most popular sight on the market right now. It's pretty sweet, and after you shoot it for like an hour, you'll be like, wow, I get why this is so popular. We had to redo our center serving here because he wants to shoot a lighted knock, and these are just a little tight on there, but we got it perfect, and it was a one-hole wonder. If you can go recap right back now to a picture of that beautiful bullet hole. And set his peep in for him, tied it up, confirmed it was right, tried it like 3 or 4 times, still feels like it's good. We can move that if you need to, if you shoot for an hour and go, God, it just still feels a little low or something.
Yep.
And then went with a hybrid style axis stand release. And we're gonna try a little bit longer extension here, because like me, he's got a pretty decent sized mitt. And this is a little small for a guy with a decent sized mitt. So now we're gonna head on over to my place, from Dan's place, which is only 1 minute away now. Awfully convenient. When as soon as Dan gets done building these arrows, because I gave him the bad job. Come along, folks.
Like that, you can recycle it, and then you can just get this stuff off into one big booger. And now he's gonna match. He's gonna have his little subalpine uniform on. You know the guy at the trailhead who's got his subalpine uniform on, and then you look at it and you see his bow matches, and you'll be like, oh, this guy, okay. Yeah, Chris is gonna be that guy. He's also gonna be the guy who's packing out a bowl. And you'll be seeing him getting back to the truck last load, and you'll be like, oh, I wish that was me.
It will be all because I match.
Yeah, matching.
100%.
Look good, feel good, shoot good.
That's right.
It's science. This is for your shot sense. If you guys want to run shot sense, I have it on my Target bow. I took it off my 29 and put it on that because I care kind of more about feedback on that. And my feedback on the shot sense is that if you have any self-esteem and you want to lower it, put the shot sense in where it tells you how bad you suck at archery. It is very humbling, but it also is extremely accurate, and it's a great tool. And I recommend it for people that maybe you don't have an archery coach and you need your own feedback loop. That could be something that could help you elevate your game.
Buying it all at retail and not caring.
Let me put a little skateboard tape on the bullet, homeboys, for a little gription. Oh yeah, that's it. Oh good, what do you got?
It was because I did a podcast with him the other day.
Yeah.
And and I told, we started talking about bows, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm going to go see Dan. And, sorry, name of Josh's business.
Oh, Podium.
Podium, yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah, Josh is good. Podium, they'll treat you good. Just don't let Dan touch your bow. He's like, I love you, Dan.
That's good.
It was good. It was funny.
He's probably not wrong.
Come on in, bud. I think that was your boy.
Oh yeah, he's snooping around.
Yeah.
So that will quiet it up quite a bit right here.
Okay.
And then these rubber dampenings are new, and so that'll be good. And I like this rest because you can, when you're making a stock, flip it up. I pretty much flip it up all the time. And anytime elk getting tight, I'm like up.
Yeah.
Yep. That way
Because the air will stay in there.
it'll stay in there. It's fully contained. You can put a silencer here. I've never understood really the need for that. And then you can micro tune this with broadheads. So my goal is for you to shoot a broadhead today, this evening, and a fill point, and see if we need to make any teeny tiny adjustments to get those together at 30, 40, and 50 yards.
Yep.
So. Hey Ross, what's up?
Hey.
What are you doing? We're getting lunch right now.
What's up, bro?
No way.
Are you coming to work out or what?
I will definitely be there. Unreal.
What's up, dude? We need to go riding together one of these days.
I know. This is unreal.
I wish we were at home so I could show him your sleds and all your. He's got a pretty slick little system.
Sweet.
But yeah, so just making sure you don't miss this workout today. You got a workout partner.
I will be there.
All right, man. We'll see you though.
All right, see you.
Later.
All right, buddy. See ya.
Got it. 288.
Okay.
So we got his basically a speed at 20, and I want to shoot 60, but I don't want to lose an arrow, so I'm just having him go 30, then 40, then 50. We're just working our way to 60 so we can hit the bale. That's right in the middle. I'm getting pretty lucky, so now I'm gonna guess. Up there. Give me more bullets.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go set this up for 60, and here's the key. I'm gonna set this 2 or 3 yards in front of the bale, so you gotta kind of shoot it for 63-ish. So,
Okay. Okay. A little high. Let me shoot one more.
I got your speed.
Really?
Yep.
And that's what we needed, right?
That's all I needed. So whatever you want to do
Can I
here.
just shoot one more?
Yeah. 3 7/8. Got it. All right, so we built him a tape. We got his downrange speed at 20 and 60, and we know where 30 is right now, so we're gonna put this on and go to the course and test it out. You can always get an account with Precision Cut. Save this piece of paper. It's got all his information in it, so you don't have to have someone measure you ever again on this setup. With your arrow weight, you can set up an account for like 20 bucks a year, and you can print sight tapes maybe at 10,000 feet. Or maybe you're coming over here and you're gonna have all the oxygen in the world and print for 2,000 feet. So
It's different.
it is. This is just, we're dating this tape.
Okay.
Okay. I can live with that.
So why are we just dating?
Because we're humans and this may not be the most perfect tape. It may be off. And then the other thing to think about is...
Yeah, okay, I thought we were talking about the tape still.
No, we're talking about us.
Okay, I was like, really?
Mind your business.
It's a serious tip.
One thing I would do is, like, I'm sure this to 100 is going to be absolutely pretty damn close. But this all depends on the veins, the FLC, the point weight. So you can start making marks. Like 110 actually is actually right there. 105 is actually right there. Usually from past 100, I just do kind of make custom marks, sight ends. Usually I'll leave that blank. But we're going to just see how close we are today.
Okay.
And then the last thing I need to do before is I'm going to take this, make sure this is not moved, lock it in. This is a really important step. We're going to go here. You can loosen until it comes to a dead stop. Pop this out. Go ahead and look at that. Mark the yellow on there.
Endless loop recurve string.
Coming in hot. See these adjustments right here? Loosen,
Yeah, looking at the
and just get those as close as you can. So I'm going to show the viewers at home.
I think I want to say
You want to hold that like that for me,
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, we don't really build a whole lot of
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, guys, I don't know if you can see that, but we're gonna line it up to where we can get the pins to be 20, 30, 40 based on this tape and run with it, date it. It should be pretty damn close.
Yep.
I'll let you do that. Now we just put the plate in.
That has our sight tape.
And we trust the yellow is 30. You need to crack your 20 and 40 pin indicators and get them right on.
Okay.
And
with this being on there.
And this locked, and then we get to go shoot the 3D course.
Why does he keep handing me this tool? I don't get it.
Brings in the shop today.
And we get to go shoot both.
Yeah.
Let me set the record straight for a minute. Hate, I get it. Say it with them. I don't give a f. I'm cool with it. Play it, peep the fans with
Hit the
them.
weight room.
Yeah, they gon' remember mine. Yeah, you are not it already. He ain't outlaw getting off when he calls envy. Hit the peanut gallery, they all jelly. Yeah, they gon' remember mine. Yeah, we let them say what they gon' say about us. That ain't nothing, I ain't bothered, not a problem. Haters hate, another day in dollar. Keep your money ready, have you pay the homage. Delay the profit, we go freeway on it. Yeah, no real
Look at it. Barely get on there. And slowly
you can find them on the
Slower,
app. Yeah, they call me
slower,
Peaky Blinders. You
slower,
bet your bottom dollar, I'm a classic. 64 Impala, me, I been the plug. Plead the fifth when the name it get brought up. Real legend never die. Still with the business, you should cry, let it lie. Sign for a 9, that's Korea suicide. Tell her one time, forever in my prime. They remember my...
This is like the exact reason I came here, dude. Fine tuning, little bit of technique side of things, and we're getting close.
Yeah, I've been making y'all believe it, remember my name. We ain't not the same, no. Real since day one, and I ain't gonna change up, remember my name. Yeah. Now I was born of the fire, sworn to a higher code, get lighter up, lit.
Well, welcome to the new to us gym.
I have to go to the position. Side plank raises.
Yeah.
You can go on your arm or you can go on your shoulder. So in air and jump.
Let me set the record straight for a minute. Hate, I get it. Say it with them. I don't give a f. I'm cool with it. Play it, peep the fans with them. Yeah, they gon' remember mine. Yeah, you are not it already. He ain't outlaw getting off when he calls envy. Hit the peanut gallery, they all jelly. Yeah, they gon' remember mine. Yeah, we let them say what they gon' say about us. That ain't nothing, I ain't bothered, not a problem. Haters hate, another day in dollar. Keep your money ready, have you pay the homage. Delay the profit, we go freeway on it. Yeah, no real one, not the copper. If you need reminding, holla at your Siri, ask who I'm. You can find them on the app. Yeah, they call me Peaky Blinders. You bet your bottom dollar, I'm a classic. 64 Impala, me, I been the plug. Plead the fifth when the name it get brought up. Real legend never die. Still with the business, you should cry, let it lie. Sign for a 9, that's Korea suicide. Tell her one time, forever in my prime. They remember my name. Yeah.
You're hitting like 128s last time over?
Chris Burandt is no joke. Very fit dude. And he's enthusiastic when we trained today. I love that. He had high energy. He was here for it. He wanted to get hurt. He lives at altitude. Came down to the low elevation, 2,000.
Let's take a little breather. You're struggling with the talking.
Okay, he's right. Ask Chris what he thought about the workout.
Down here at Superman World, I have like a third lung. You know, I live at 8,000 feet, Colorado, snowmobile and hunt at 11,000 feet. It's still kick butt time here, but I do have the long, skinny Colorado kid one up with just the elevation.
How was having my wife as a partner?
Oh, dude,
She's a beast.
I was like, please don't pick Dan, please don't pick Dan.
Yeah.
And team crush, dude.
Yeah, she did good. Great workout. Guys, what'd you think of? This is Ross. He's my neighbor. Not anymore, but he's still come over to work out. And that's cool. Ross, not to put you on the spot, man, but you're the best neighbor we've ever had. Not kidding.
That's all perfect.
And you exemplify like how to sacrifice, love your neighbor as you love yourself. It's biblical. I don't know if you're a biblical guy or not, but you live it. And I want to embarrass you on camera. Like, You're gonna be missed, man. You gotta come and work out. You're the best neighbor we've
I
ever
still got
had.
your number.
Cool. Alicia's interview time.
No,
Yeah, no.
no. I don't have anything to say.
Alicia, what do we do? Give us a tip. Give us a hot tip on whatever the frick that was. How are the lunges?
Work out in whiteboard and primitive and have Chris as your rowing partner.
Okay, I'm gonna keep building that same pressure on the trigger as you're looking at what's going on down there.
That was like a sick, perfect shot too. How'd that
You
feel?
had no idea when it was going on.
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
That's
Well,
I took over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took over on the back.
That's what you need it to feel like.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
But that's because what I was doing is what you should be doing in your head on that trigger.
yeah. And I will say one thing that has been the hardest thing and what is on my mind every single day to work towards is, being a better husband, because it's taken so much me time to get to that level of, being the best I can at my discipline with kind of, and I hate to say this, but with like no regard of family life, wife life, all of that. And so I wish I would have done things different because I still think I could have got to the same goal. So just keep that in mind, right? It's like have the priorities correct. You can still be the best and you can still work your ass off, but just make sure you have your priorities where. And so I wish I would have done it a little different, but I have an awesome wife that was patient, and I was able. I think I've done a good job with my kids. I love that part, but again, that's what happens when the kids come. The wife even takes another back seat potentially, and so I owe her everything, like literally owe her everything, and so I look forward to like the next chapter in my life is to, making sure that she knows that and that I love her. And I'm very thankful for everything she did to help me get there, even though it felt like I was having to do it all myself. I couldn't have done it by myself, right? She made everything work at home and when I was gone, and I was gone a lot. And so.
Hey guys, we love elk hunting. It's so hard. Most miles ever, definitely a double-digit day.
Separations in the preparation.
A lot of bugles across the canyon today where I've been hunting.
This is a channel dedicated to inspiring you to be the best version or aspire to be the best version, the best hunter, the best dad, the best firefighter captain, just the best dude that you can be.